Okay, I'll call this meeting to order of the Neighborhood Board 12. Thank you everyone for attending this evening. First up on our agenda is our Honolulu Fire Department. Do we have anyone from the fire department? Yes, I see someone. Yes, sir. Please go. Please go ahead.
Hi, how's it going? My name is Firefighter McKee from the Nuʻuanu Fire Station. The statistics for the month of August are as follows. We had 1 nuisance fire, 1 cooking fire, 4 activated alarms, 43 medical emergencies, 4 motor vehicle collisions, 5 mountain rescues. The safety tip for this month is move over for emergency vehicles. We'll drive with caution and obey all traffic laws, including the move over law. Help protect our first responders while performing their duties near or on a roadway. This is more than just a public courtesy, it's the law. Hawaii Revised Statute 291C-27 requires a driver of a vehicle that is approaching an emergency vehicle that is stopped for an emergency, investigation of a possible traffic violation, rendering assistance to a police officer, or other official duties, as indicated by flashing emergency lights of the stopped emergency vehicle, shall 1. Slow down to a reasonable and prudent speed that is safer under the circumstances of an emergency road situation ahead. If necessary, the driver shall come to a complete stop before making a lane change under paragraph 2. And 2, make a lane change into the adjacent lane if necessary, and if it is safe to do so. Or if possible, 2 lanes over, which leaves 1 lane between the driver and the emergency vehicle. Note, emergency vehicle means police, fire, EMS, ocean safety, freeway service patrol, tow trucks, and even some state and county vehicles while personnel are working. Any questions?
Yeah, are there any questions from the board? Oh, sorry. Paula, go ahead, please.
I have 2 questions hearing that about people on the Poly Highway, and everybody's sick of that. If 2 cars are stopped for somebody to walk across the street, why is it that the 3rd lane over keeps on going and hits the person? So I wish there would be an educational program for people learning how to drive when 2 cars are stopped, just like with a school bus. And like school buses where you see flashing lights, blah, blah, blah. But when people are walking across, like in a raised sidewalk or whatever they call that, crosswalk, why are they allowed to not stop in the 3rd lane going across the 6-lane highway?
That I can't answer on why people do certain things, unfortunately.
Okay, I just want to bring it up to everyone because I hope everyone's listening because they're not doing it on the Poly Highway. And number 2, I want to know if you, I know you probably don't know, but there's supposed to be for the police, the fire department, emergency, whatever. What are the 5-year plans for each agency? And with the 5-year plan for fire and police, well, ERS too, EMS, I mean, I want to let everybody know, even the fire department, that there are ways to get up the Poly Highway when there is a major accident by cutting through certain properties. And I want to know if the legislators can look into this and possibly find a route for the cars that are coming back up through the valley, even those that are coming to get their kids. Like for instance, at Puiva Road, there are 2 entrances to go back up the valley to get the people home. And no one's looking at that. And I think that should be looked at seriously whenever there's an accident. Now, it had been brought up one time at Nuʻuanu School to allow people to go through the back entrance of Nuʻuanu. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. At back entrance of Nuʻuanu and get them through, but some way, somehow, someone, I want to say man, but I don't know if it's true, said no, they wouldn't allow that through DOE property, and they wouldn't allow it past hospice. And those are the 2 entrances that you should be able to use to get people out of the valley when we have a real emergency. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you. Were there any other questions or comments from anybody for the fire department?
Anyone wants to call me, they can.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, firefighter. We appreciate your time. And
Yeah.
well, I would have one question. That is just out of curiosity. I understand there was a big fire yesterday by maybe it was Camp Smith or something. Do you know anything about that? Or I heard it was pretty high up. So
Oh yeah. Right now, it looks like it's a brush fire up on the very top of Tripler area, on top of that ridge. So I believe they were doing airdrops today as well.
wow.
But I don't see it on our screen anymore, so it looks like they have concluded for today already.
Okay.
So
Well, hopefully that's good news. So okay. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for coming out this evening. Thank you for your service and stay
Thank you.
safe.
Thank you.
all right, we're gonna.
Thank you. Next up on our agenda, we have Honolulu Police Department, District 1, and I see Sergeant Segucia. So please, sir.
Good evening, Chair Smith and everyone in attendance. Lieutenant Segusi representing Honolulu Police Department, District 1 Community Responsibility. Thank you guys for your guys' time and patience. I'll get right into the stats for August 2024. So motor vehicle thefts was 4. Previous month was 3. Burglaries is down to 2. The previous month it was 4. Thefts were also down to 3. Previous month was 8. UMVs or car break-ins were 3. Previous month was also 8. Assault was 1. Previous month was 0. Sex assault cases were 2. Previous month was 0. And then graffiti and drug cases were 0 for both months. Calls for service for the particular area for the month of August was 639 compared to the previous month of 621. Calls for service remain about the same from the previous month. There are no criminal breaches to report at this time. In fact, some of the categories are down. I know some of you are feeling uneasy with the most recent attempted murder case at Paua and Pacific Heights Road. Rest assured, the suspect for that case was arrested and the case is pending conferral and adjudication. There was a quick response by officers and coordination with other districts in locating the suspect who had fled the scene. I participated in the Badges and Buckets event at Walmart Keomoku the past weekend of September 6th, 7th, and 8th. Our location raised a little over $16,300 over the 3 days for the Special Olympics. I wanted to offer great thanks and gratitude to the public, especially those who came down and donated for this great cause. Upcoming events for your area is pretty much the Aloha Parade Festival. It's going to be happening in the Ala Moana Boulevard area, but it might affect traffic in that particular area. And this will be happening on September 28th. Parade will be getting set up in the morning at about 6 a.m. and starting at Ala Moana Beach Park and walking all the way to Kapilani Park in Waikiki. Expect road and lane closures in the surrounding areas and leave early so that you don't need to have to rush. Safety tip for the month of September regarding securing loads. We at HPD have been responding to a lot of calls for debris on the roadways and freeways, some which happen often on Pali Highway. It's due to non-securing our belongings effectively. We found all kinds of things on the freeway, like coolers, cooler lids, plastic chairs, playpens, surfboards, and even Christmas trees. These items are extremely hazardous to motorists, especially motorcyclists. We're asking our community members to take the time and patience to secure loose items in the bed of your truck or when securing it to roof racks. Motor vehicle fatality count at this point of the year is 28 compared to the same time last year of 38, same time. At this point in time, I'm going to yield back the rest of my time and take any questions from the board members and public attendees.
Thank you. Are there any questions from our board members? Paula, go ahead, please.
Lieutenant Segusio, good to see you. Sorry we missed you last month and next month also. Everybody's, I don't know, playing hooky, but for the 5-year plan, I think you heard what I said to the fire department, that you might want to look into those other routes to bring under control. And I want to know what you're doing or how you're doing it, or if you're doing it for beaky bikes. Are you doing a helmet thing? Because I'll tell you right now, to get a helmet bill passed took me 3 years and I never got it passed. So you have to possibly work with Kapiolani Hospital for head trauma. And we've already had 2 in our family dead from head trauma. So I consider this, no one seems to want to pick it up and talk about it because you got so many categories. You got motorcycle, you got motor scooters, and now you get beaky. For God's sake, with kids driving below 15. And then you got kids that are riding skateboards and roller skates. So everything has a category, and I wish they'd bring it all together in one category and make everyone wear a helmet. So I'm just asking, and if any of the legislators are listening to me, I wish they would put it all together so we've got a bill. That's it. Without saying, oh, I was on roller skates, I don't have to wear a helmet, blah, blah, blah. All these excuses, you know what I mean? And I worked with too many head trauma patients, and it's traumatic for everyone. But Beaky, oh, that one, not good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, in regards to the BQ bike, so there is a law statute in regards to wearing helmets. Yeah, so anyone under the age of 17 when riding a bicycle in a public area, in fact, should be wearing a helmet. I think there is a violation for that that can be cited. How often we do cite these violations? They're children, so it's a little difficult. Sometimes my officers utilize some discretion in regards to that. With regards to the beaky bikes, they don't provide helmets, they just provide the bikes.
Right.
It's really easy for people to just come and start swiping their credit cards and allowing their underage children to ride these bicycles and to ride it everywhere. It's kind of prevalent also in the Waikiki area, especially with these scooters that kind of move pretty quickly. Getting back to your first question though, that you asked earlier in regards to crossing the street, why does the third lane people don't stop? So there is a violation for that. It's called not yielding to pedestrians. So there is if I'm not mistaken, it's a $97 fine. We have been doing some stings. We previously had done stings. I'll bring it up with my command. That would be something good that we could possibly bring up in the area of the poly. You know what I mean? Just to provide a little bit more awareness and enforcement in regards to that. I think it's more so with the drivers though. They need to realize that when any vehicle is stopped at a crosswalk, they also need to stop until the pedestrian is totally off of the roadway, at least their portion of the roadway, before they can proceed. And with that too, the pedestrian needs to also make eye contact, right? They can't assume that one car has stopped for them, that all of the other lanes vehicles are going to stop also.
Yeah, they're not at all.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you can have a party up here if you want to give out all those things. And then the 5-year plan, I really worry about that because somebody's going to have a real emergency, and we need to look at that on how you can get people up through the valley to get them safe to home. And that's in 5-year plans, as I understand it from being younger. Now I'm old, so maybe there isn't such a plan anymore. Maybe it's a 10-year plan, but you might want to look
Okay.
at it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next up is Ray.
Pardon?
Ray G. It's
Thank you for your report, Lieutenant Segusio. I just wanted to say thank you if it's your district as well as District 5 for stopping by my neighborhood on Ahi and Pu'umele streets early in the morning because I get up at 4, and by the time 5:30 rolls around, I see a patrol car always doing the L loop in our area, and the neighbors also noticed that, and they just wanted me to say thank you to your patrol personnel. Thank you.
I think that's part of District 5, so I won't take credit for them, but I'll pass on the information.
Thank you.
thank you. Sylvia. Sylvia, you're muted.
Hi, Lieutenant. Um, My thing is, I hardly been driving, but I've been noticing a lot of cars with expired safety checks and cars with no, you know, one side of their back rear end lights are burnt out, and even front headlights. But you know, I'm finding a lot of them as I drive, and like I said, I might only go out once a day, and I'm seeing all of these things around town. I guess, you know, when you are a slow driver, you kind of look around to make sure what's going on around you. But but yeah, I've been noticing that. And then I recently we had an incident up on our street, but it wasn't a big thing. And but the person got cited for expired safety check, and I didn't know the fine was $70 for a safety check, expired safety check. So I don't know if, you know, other people notice that these are the things that are going around. I mean, you know, there's a lot of cars that are not being checked.
Yeah, so with regards to that, we do have a lot of vehicles riding around, expired safety, expired registration. So we try to get onto those vehicles, right? Because majority of the time, if they're expired safety, expired reg, majority of the time they don't have insurance. And that's the big one, yeah. I mean, especially if they get into accidents and then they cannot you know, they cannot pay for the damages that they caused or is caused to their vehicles or other vehicles and other property and stuff like that. Sometimes we do give some discretion. If it's a month old, we might just stop the driver to remind them that, hey, you need to get a safety check like soon. But if it's, sometimes we've been finding them 6, 7 months expired, sometimes a year. I saw one the other day, was back in 2021. But I was off duty. But definitely if I was on duty, that vehicle would be getting stopped. Because obviously, if they don't have safety check, and you know what I mean, it's the safety check, it only costs them $25. But they're willing to get the $70 ticket because they can't afford to get the insurance. So I think it's a kind of a hand-in-hand thing, yeah. But we'll start, well, we do address it pretty much every day though.
Are there any other questions from anybody for the lieutenant?
Thank you.
Hearing none. Thank you very much, Lieutenant Segusio. It's nice to see you. Thank you.
You too. You guys have a great break next month.
Thank you. Next up, we have District 5 of Honolulu Police Department. Do we have a rep from District 5? I don't see anybody. I don't hear anybody. Okay. Thank you. So we'll move on to our Neighborhood Security Watch, and that's Paula.
I wanted to talk to District 5, but then Lieutenant Segusio is on, so he,
Okay.
Probably take
If you
care of
have a general question,
well,
I'm sure Lieutenant Segusio would be willing to handle
ours
it.
has to do with seriousness as far as the park, Nuʻuanu Valley Park. It says no animals, and people are running around there with their dog with not picking up and no leash. So since it says no animals and we've got a problem with chickens, with cats and dogs, not to include the humans, we're wondering, is there a reason why the police would not go in and give tickets at the park to bring it together? Because people around that park do not want a dog thing going on. What do they call it? Dog park.
Right.
And a lot of people have been calling in about it to me. Like I'm in charge of everything, but Is there a way that District 5 could be notified that this is happening and then it's getting worse?
Absolutely. I'll make my notifications to the lieutenant tonight.
I know
Um,
it's
they're
a
probably-
normal thing, but if somebody could look into it to get it under
Absolutely.
control.
It's a huge thing for us here in District 1 too. Ala Moana Beach Park is not an animal-friendly park. Just to let you guys know, a lot of people bring their dogs to walk, even though they're on leashes, they're in violation. Yeah. So my offices have issued numerous citations in regards to the dog violations.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yes. So there's two sides to the coin, right? There's obviously people that want a dog park, and there's obvious people that are not wanting to have animals at the park due to all kinds of reasons. One of the major reasons for our area is because of owners not picking up after their animals. Yeah. So
yeah,
that's a huge thing. And then they pee and poop, and you expect people to kind of lounge and sit
right.
on the grass. So it's kind of a difficult thing. But that's maybe something that you guys can bring up with the city council to see if you guys can get a particular area for the dog park. But yeah, in regards to the violations at Nuʻuanu Valley Park, I'll forward that to the lieutenant on duty tonight and try to see if he can get some resolution for you folks.
Yeah, we've had the problem with people catching chickens and taking them to the park and letting them loose. And then the chickens chase the cats and the cats chase the chickens, and people have kids there, and it's getting to be unclean.
Okay.
So that is part of Queen Emma's Summer Palace parking up on that hill there. We tried that one other time and it was all kind of problems. So when you got so many animals that don't even belong there, I don't know what you're gonna do except get rid of the humans.
So, Lieutenant, could just to clarify, it is that people can call 911 if they see dogs that are improperly or prohibited in an area that they're not supposed to be.
If I'm understanding Paula correctly, he says no animals, then there should
Yes.
not be any animals at that location in regards to personally owned pets, cats, dogs, even they're on leashes. They shouldn't be even present in the park. You
But I
just gotta
mean-
call 911. Yeah, just call 911 and then we'll address it. There is a violation for that. It's called park rules in regards to the sign. The signage has to be very clear though. If it's kind of graffitied and stuff like that, we might use some discretion in regards to that. But if the signs are pretty fairly marked clear, yeah, that is a violation. And I think it's like I want to say it's like a $57 fine. I'm not too sure exactly on the exact fine amount though.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions from anybody
Thank you.
for well, anything about HPD, I suppose? Hearing none. Thank you very much. Thank you for fielding those questions too, Lieutenant Segucio. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. You guys have a great night.
Thank you. So next up, we have our Neighborhood Security Watch with Paula.
Oh, thank you. The only thing that we've had plenty of problems up the mountain with speeding, etc. But people are getting tired of hearing that. Now we've got people sleeping on Wood Street in their car with broken window and no front license plate. Last night until this morning at 8:30 when I got the report. And then they left. So that would go to District 5, but I don't know if we should be reporting those kind of things. Because they didn't do anything, they just slept in their car.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna sit there all day and watch them till they wake up.
Right.
So this is a brand new thing in Nuʻuanu on Wood Street. Always has to be Wood Street, for God's sakes. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Are there any questions from anybody for the Neighborhood Security Watch representative? Hearing none, thank you. And I'll say once again, since we don't meet very much, the operation that Nuʻuanu Security Watch conducts is actually pretty spectacular. So thank you, Paula, for being a part of that, and the rest of your team. Thank you. Next up, we have Border
Can I
Water.
say something?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
we are planning a meeting in October. If we can get it all settled with the principal of the school, either the 18th or the 25th. I'll try to get out to everyone, but I'm trying to get it settled so that we have a place to meet that's clean and not having to sit in a park. But it
Right.
will cost us money, so if we have it, it might be just once, that's it.
I'm sorry, what was the date, the perspective, I mean, month that
I
you were
haven't
talking
said it yet, but 18th or 25th October.
about? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the biggies to call me back, because, and the principal of the school has been very, very, very nice about it. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Okay, next up, we have the Board of Water Supply. Is Timmy here, or Board of Water Supply? Oh, I see.
Hi, I'm
ahead.
here. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jimmy Llanos. I'll be
Jimmy.
representing Board of Water Supply tonight. I'm gonna go over some concerns that were raised from last time. One of them was the updates on the water systems improvements project in Lower Nuʻuanu. That's the Pu'uiwa project, job 22-21. We don't have any updates this month. Board of Water Supply still needs permit approvals from the State Historic Preservation Division before work can begin, but we will still continue to provide the board with updates as they become available. The other concern was the rain break that happened on Alika Avenue in June. There was concern about some water ponding on the new asphalt. And I'm here to report that the Board of Water Supply's contractor restores only the portion of road that was excavated after a main break was repaired. The cracks that are outside the paved patch are from normal wear and tear and not caused by the main break nor the contractor. However, the BWS crew checked the Alika Ave patch and reported it to be acceptable. Please note that newly paved asphalt is relatively flexible and may settle in certain spots. This can create shallow dips in the asphalt that can cause tiny puddles to form when it rains. So now I'm gonna go over my monthly report for this month. For the main break report, there was only one main break last month. That was on August 24th. That was a 6-inch diameter pipe at 25 Hakumele Place. And the install year of that pipe was 1931.
Wow.
Excellent.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a quite old pipe. But next is the general water announcements. I'm going to be talking about the Imagine a Day Without Water event. Get ready for the annual Imagine a Day Without Water event on Saturday, September 28th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Kapolei Regional Park. Come join the Board of Water Supply and various city, state, and community agencies and organizations for a day full of activities that focus on the value of water, interactive exhibits, including rain barrel workshops, xeriscape plant craft activities, and succulent mini workshops, and more. Plus, Ono food will be available for purchase. Admission is free for those of all ages, keiki to kupuna. Find out more at www.boardofwatersupply.com/onewaterhawaii. And that concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Jimmy. First up, Mike.
Hi, Jimmy. I heard what you said about road patches being rough when they're first installed. However, I'd just like to report that BWS was doing some work at about 1851 Pu'uiwa Drive yesterday. So this patch is brand new. And the patch is basically atrocious. There's probably up to 2 to 3 inch waves throughout this new patch. Now, I understand how it would settle unevenly, as you're saying, but this one actually went in poorly. So I was wondering if you could have the crew come back and redo that patch or compress it correctly. And I can link you I can put the address in chat if you want that, or I can repeat it for you.
Okay, yeah, thank you for bringing this concern up, and yeah, I'll, bring this up, bring this back to Board of Water and have them look at the patch again, or on this new patch, yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mike, I mean, I would remind you, unfortunately, we're not having a meeting next month, so you might want to take that up with him personally because there's a long, if you want, just keep that in mind. Anyway.
I'll come back and yell at him in 2 months if that's the case.
Okay.
Hopefully this
Okay.
action will, bring it to their notice now. They'll take care of it within the next month.
Okay, thank you. Audrey.
Yes, hi. Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, Audrey.
Okay, so on September 4th, there was a water main break on Alika Avenue. Is that in your records?
I only have up until August, so I was not aware of that yet.
Yeah, so on September 4th, water main break. And then so the patching, you guys have 30 days to fix it. Can you folks make sure that within 30 days, Alika Avenue is as good as new without all the little lumps and bumps? I see the areas all marked for the one call.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely bring that message back for that main break on Lake Avenue that you mentioned. Yeah, thank you for bringing that to our attention. And I'll let them know that the road needs to be, the patching has to be worked on.
Yeah, so you only look up until the end of the previous month, knowing that I would probably ask you questions or keep on top of the breakage because all my neighbors text me. They don't text Board of Water. They text me that there's a leak.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Do we have any other questions for Board of Water Supply? Paula?
I don't really have a question because Audrey's taking care of all the leaks.
Oh, questions or comments? Yeah.
Anyway, this one on September 4th, I got calls from as down far as, let's see, below Puiva, where they were only getting dripping, a lot of dripping, but no really water. So I don't think that people down there are being informed that we have so many breaks up above. Is there a way they could be informed?
I'll off the top of my head, I'm not sure, but I'll
Or is
definitely.
it that isn't even the reason? Or is there something else going on below Puiva that we don't know about?
That I'm not sure, but I'll definitely look into if the folks on Puiva Road can be better informed, how they can be better informed on the main breaks on Alika.
And the other reason I want to ask, is there a way that they can clean the street before they do the work so that my house doesn't get all the mud? Now, they came yesterday to clean up the mud again from the other breaks. And all the breaks, each one has been cleaned properly. And each one, the guys have worked really hard. So is there a way they clean the street first before they start working up there on Alika and Puiva and wherever else you were talking about? So I don't have a mud problem.
So you're talking about cleaning the street before
Yes,
the main
to
break?
get rid of all the dirt that's on the street.
Okay, I'll bring that question back for sure.
I know that sounds terrible, but it's all gonna go into the stream anyway, the way it's running, all the mud, so it gets stuck in my house and then they have to come back days later. This time they came back a week later. So it gets all tracked into everybody's property the way it runs down and then into the stream.
Okay, yeah, thanks for bringing that to our attention. I'll bring that question back and bring back our
Now
response.
you have to remember,
That's the
I
next one.
would, but the accidents are happening on Alika, so we seem to be the bottom pit at the bottom on wood with mud. We can mud wrestle over there. Anyway,
Okay, thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Are there any questions from anybody for the representative from the Board of Water Supply?
No.
Hearing none, Jimmy, thank you very much. I think I said Timmy first, sorry. But thank you, Jimmy. We appreciate you coming out, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
You too, thank you. Next up, we have our filling of vacancies. We have two
Yeah,
vacant
thank you.
positions. If I can read this correctly, two vacant positions in the Punch Bowl area. If you live around Punch Bowl and think that you might be in that sub-district or you're not sure, that's fine. Is there any, we'll check it afterwards if you so want to serve. Is there anybody who would like to volunteer to serve as a neighborhood board member from that community? Seeing none, we'll move on. Okay, thank you. Next up, we have our report from non-board events. And first off, we have the Oahu Metropolitan Planning Organization with Ray G.
Hi, good evening. I did attend the Citizens Advisory Committee meeting on September 4th. That was Wednesday. And what may be of interest to you is the Vision Zero Action Plan. And I think it was the report dated for August or September 2024. And what it is, it's just what actions the city and county of Honolulu is going to be doing for Oahu proper, I guess. And although there's no projects in our area listed, they do have a list of high injury collisions if you're interested in looking at the urban core, which is our neighboring area in downtown Honolulu, and where I work, which is near Keamoku Street. So it is interesting to see some of those statistics as well as a list of projects that they're studying. So I will put the link in the chat areas in case any of you are interested in reading the report. But other than that, there was nothing immediately impacting our area, which I think is good. And again, I'm sorry I didn't follow up with Sylvia and Paula, but I will definitely do it because I know we have a break coming up. So I have time to give them a call and discuss transportation items for our area. Other than that, thank you so much for letting me be the representative for the CAC or Citizens Advisory Committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we get to questions, let me just ask, did they finally make our board a member?
No,
there were some hoops
unfortunately, no. So I will take your email again and send it to Samantha and see. I did send her, I noticed you sent it to them and then I gave them some time
Yes,
to recognize it, but they haven't
yeah,
notified.
just so you know, I actually sent it through the mail July 1st. So I don't know what the issue is. But anyway, thank you for serving. Do we have any
Sure.
before we get to questions, let me just, this might be a good time to mention it. I don't know if everyone received this email, but there will be, which is related, a pedestrian safety speaker at the Blaisdell on September 25th. And this person is apparently a nationally renowned pedestrian safety expert. Hopefully everybody got that email. If not, please email me. I'll be happy to forward that on. But that's a Wednesday from 5:30 to 7:30. So if you're able and you're very interested in pedestrian safety, this might be a very good opportunity to speak to someone. So with that said, are there any questions regarding the Oahu? Oh, Paula, go ahead, please.
I went back through history in my notes, and I found out that from as far as things on the Poly Highway and getting worse, and all the illegal things that are going on down there, I found out it was all sent to Design and Construction Company, Department, Design and Construction, as far back as 5 years ago. And so some of it needs to be looked at immediately. And then when I also went through the physical therapy parts of what we designed for wheelchairs, the state has a rule that all the sidewalks along the poly should be 4 feet, not 32 inches. I think 4 feet is a little bit, a little bit more than 32, because now some of the wheelchairs are like 38 inches across. You have to have it special made, but they're making them, but on the 4 feet, you gotta have room for the wheelchair, and then you have to have the wheelchair moved to the side to let the next person come through. And all that poly highway needs to be looked at for that. And that Moana Loa, not Moana Loa, the street coming out from next to St. Stephen's, the telephone pole is right in the middle of the sidewalk and no wheelchair can get through there. So I think those kind of things should be looked at quickly, because there might be a lawsuit if somebody really is gonna have, I don't mean to preach, but I think somebody better look at some of that stuff with the water hydrants and the holes in the middle, and somebody might get really frantic if they can't get up and down. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Do we have any other questions regarding the Oahu Metro planning? Paula, do you want to follow up?
Yeah, I'm sorry. On the things that happened in 1990, made by Bush. What was his name? George W. Bush. He passed the ADA rules. And I think this state should be looking at the rules that they have for this, because I was told by DOT it's only 32 inches, but no, if you look it up now, it's supposed to be 4 feet. And I think you should compare what was written with 1990 and what's written now. As a physical therapist, it only makes sense to me if somebody's frustrated. So now that I got to use a wheelchair, it's really hard. But even everything I sent in, I don't know what anybody, that's why I don't know what visioning did with everything. I would assume design and construction would have given it to visioning. I assume, but I can't assume, right?
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Are there any last items? Paul, Reggie, did you have something you want to follow up with?
Yeah, just to follow up with Paula, I'll just make one last comment. There are two different departments. So one is Transportation or Department of Transportation Services, and the other one is Department of Design and Construction. Do you recall the name of the person you gave the photos to at DDC? Because I could try to
Even
inquire.
to the Office on Aging, even though I was younger.
Okay, thank you.
Office of
I'll start
Aging,
following up.
and then they sent it all in, even for the Dowsett Circle.
Office of Aging. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll make some inquiries.
I can't go back any further because I think I destroyed a lot of papers already.
Well, as I recall, some of those photos went to Tyler's office too, and I'm not sure we ever really got a good response. Because I mean, I remember, I believe you showed those at the meeting, or you sent those to me, maybe. But I thought they got passed on to
Everything I
Tyler.
had, and my cell phone got so full, I think it got
Okay. Well, I
sad.
mean, it might be good. I don't know. That might be a state. I don't know if that's state, because they have those cross agreements, even though it's a state highway.
Office
But
on Aging is state.
okay, yeah, but I mean, who's responsible for the? I don't know. But okay,
Well,
that should definitely be followed up on.
DOT, state would be DOT, and then the other parts for this area would be city and county, and I don't know
Okay.
who takes care of that.
Okay, thank you. Hearing no other questions, we can move on. Next up, we have our report from Papakolea Community Association, or is Adrian online?
Yes, she is. Aloha.
Aloha.
I'm trying to get my camera on, but can't. Okay, oh well.
Okay.
Papa Kalea, couple of things. First and foremost, I am expressing the concerns of the Papa Kalea community regarding our continued patience on waiting for the speed bumps to be addressed near the park, near our community center. We have been on a decade or more wait list, and we've been told we're waiting for something else. But right now, we're quite concerned. In September, our after-school programs began. We have after school, we have kids coming to the center, K-5 in middle school and high school, and we continue to have people speeding up Chandler's Drive. We were told that it had been approved, it was coming, and they were waiting for some place on Upper Tantalus to do whatever they needed to do. The community is getting very frustrated with this wait and not wanting our kids crossing the street to get hurt. So we would like, if Tyler's office is on here, Jenna was gonna follow up. If you guys are on here, Papagalea community would like this to be addressed. If nothing else, give us an update on status. Papagalea community will be in the Aloha Week parade. On the 28th, we will have a trolley. One of our community members will be Pa'u Princess from Molokai. We will have a walking unit as well as a trolley. We won't have a meeting next month, so we will also be sharing that we will be having a Halloween event, our trunk or treat at Lincoln School, I think on Sunday, October 27th. And we're quite busy. We did get our second renewal on our education grant, so we are once again providing educational support to Lincoln, Pa'oa, Stevenson, and Roosevelt. And that's kind of busy, and beginning a community planning process starting October 1st for our Kapuna Supportive Living Center on Pu'uwaina, and more information to come on that. So we're quite busy in the months to come. Megan Ka'apuni and I will be speaking at a conference in Alaska, September 28th on our artificial intelligence machine learning project that we built, our research project. So I think that's Papagalea, quite busy. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board or the community? I will say I sort of laughed over the speed bump because someone emailed me about getting a speed bump at a certain location, and I was going to ask you how that was going. And there's really nothing funny about it. It's just that's the way our government seems to work, and it's actually quite unfortunate. And maybe Director Ashiro, when she gets her opportunity, can address this or take it back to the mayor, because I mean, yeah, this is kind of getting a little ridiculous. Anyway, Mike, did you have a comment?
I just had a question. Adrian, you mentioned an AI machine learning talk you guys are giving. Obviously, I'm not going to be in Alaska, but I would love to either read your research or see a video of the presentation if it would be available.
We will be happy to share it when we get back. And the things that we're writing up, we're working on some articles now, Mike. We're really happy to share that with you.
Thank you. Is there anything further? If not, safe travels to all three of you, and hopefully it's a very productive conference. And we all wish you luck. I'm sure I can speak for the rest of the board. So thank you. Next up, we have our residents and community concerns. Does anyone wish to speak to a concern for items that are not on the agenda? I will bring something up very quickly. There will be a follow-up on this by the NA, but the Neighborhood Commission is doing a big review of the neighborhood plan. So just so you know, there's going to be plenty of opportunities for people to weigh in if you have any particular concerns or suggestions, but just so everybody is aware that that is being undertaken. And it's likely to go on for quite a long time, like at least a year. So there will be opportunities. And one of those would concern geographical boundaries too. So if there are any thoughts about that, just keep that in the back of your mind. And there'll be more to follow up in the future. So I assume there are no other community concerns? So hearing none, we can move on to a report of our elected officials. And I think going forward, we're going to have our vice chair take this part. So I'll turn it over to Ray.
Oh, thank you. Okay, item number 6, elected officials are limited to 3 minutes each, starting with Mayor Rick Blangiardi's representative, Director Kim Hashiro. Is she here tonight?
I'm here. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Director.
Hi, so I'd like to start with, I'll be sharing the mayor's September newsletter and just going over some highlights. They include what the city is doing to take action to address crime along the Waianae coast. Also sharing that 30 brand new security cameras have been installed in Chinatown, with more on the way. Mayor Blangiardi also hosted a healing vigil on the anniversary of the Maui wildfires. And demolition of a hoarder house has begun on Pensacola Street. Lastly, Honolulu was named the most desirable city to live in the United States. So again, I'll be sharing the mayor's newsletter in the chat, and I'll also be adding to the chat the fire department's response mapping. So what HFD wanted to share was that you can find various incidents in HFD's monthly report. There is a response mapping website that I will also put in the chat. And NCO and HFD recommend anyone wanting more details regarding any incident to go to the response map, search for the incidents near them. And the map contains data from the last 6 months that can be filtered by date, type of incident, and location, making it easier for residents to learn more about what's going on in their neighborhood. To go over some departmental issue follow-up, I know we've talked about this before, but there was a request to follow up on HPD managing traffic to improve traffic flow for future parades in Waikiki. And this was regarding a traffic standstill on Kalia Road on June 8th and 9th. So the police department responded that it does its best to provide security and traffic control for over 30 city and county of Honolulu permitted Waikiki special events. During parades, officers have to balance managing the flow and safety of participants along with the needs of passing motorists. For the King Kamehameha Day Floral Parade, traffic was allowed to flow intermittently at the Kalia Road intersections, but they had to be strategically timed due to participation of live animals and large floats. For the Pan Pacific Festival, the parade started at the intersection of Saratoga Road and Kalakaua Avenue. Traffic flow from Kalia Road towards Saratoga was completely shut down to allow the parade participants a staging and starting area. Traffic flow from Kalia Road towards Ala Moana Boulevard was allowed to freely flow. During special events, the police department has contingency plans to allow for access for first responders in case of emergencies. They shared that it's unfortunate that Member Young and others spent time in a hotel parking lot during the parades, and HPD continually assesses its operations and looks for ways for improvement. So they will consider the feedback. Also to note is that the Honolulu City Council is currently considering Bill 50 relating to parade, street festivals, and other activities, which would further limit the number of permits issued each year for activities in the Waikiki Special District, among other requirements. Next item to follow up on, it was requested if HPD could keep an eye out for suspicious activity caused by a bluish silver Mazda, license plate STD 610. So HPD reported that from July 30th through August 6th, Corporal Robert Del Rosario of District 5, Kalihi, made checks on Pelekane Drive for the vehicle bearing license plate number STD 610. During the checks, This vehicle was not located in the area or at the address that was provided. Also, no one appeared to be at home at that address. What HPD is recommending is that if anyone sees this vehicle or any suspicious activity in the area, to immediately call 911. And the last item that was raised at the last meeting was regarding a missing stop sign. And this is in front of Pu'upaka Drive connecting to Kama'aina Drive. And the Department of Transportation Services will conduct an investigation regarding the replacement of the missing stop sign in this intersection. And they will include a review of their records, a site inspection, and review of the area's traffic collision history. DTS will contact Paula before conducting the site inspection as requested. That's the end of my report. If there are any questions or follow-up items, I did make a note, Patrick, of the speed humps on Tantlish Drive that came up. I was wondering if anyone could give me more specifics to follow up on, and I will take that back to DTS. I think it's a DTS issue.
Thank you, Director Hashiro, for such a great report from the mayor's newsletter, as well as all the follow-up items that you've researched on. Board members, do we have any questions for Director Hashiro at this time? Oh, sorry, I see two hands raised, and I'm going to ask Sylvia Yang. I recognize.
Oh, thank you, Ray. Director, I just wanted to say thank you very much for that report. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I hope it gave you the information that you needed, because I know the first time we didn't quite answer the correct question.
Thank you. And next member we see a hand up is with Mr. Patrick Smith, Chair Smith.
Thank you. Director, did the Neighborhood Commission Office reach out to you regarding the stop sign? Because they asked me to ask Paula the exact location, and we spoke before the meeting, and I don't think Paula didn't seem to have the exact location. So is this something that we're kind of chasing our tail? Like, are you talking to them, or are they trying to get it from me so they can provide it to you so you can provide it to DTS? I mean, do you...
Well, actually, the way that it works is that I actually work with the NCO office, and they actually initiate a inquiry to the department. I'm there. I've been helping since I've been assigned to Nuʻuanu Neighborhood Board to follow up on certain items, and if there's clarity or information that's needed that we're not sure of, that's my role. So for this particular case, I'm not sure exactly, you know, who's doing what. So I can have a follow-up discussion with NCO later to see. But can you clarify exactly what the issue was? Are you talking about this last report on the missing stop sign? Or something else?
Apparently it was a missing stop sign. I guess Paula can talk about that, but let me just close off my part of it to say Lloyd reached out to me, and I told him I'd ask tonight, but he said he might drive out there and look for it himself, as what seems to be the case. So just to let you know, so if maybe you want to follow up with Lloyd, I guess directly. Okay, thank you. That's it. I don't know if Paula had any more information she wanted. I'm sorry, Ray, but go ahead.
Paula, you want to follow up quick, and then we're going to move on to the next hand.
Right, there's two questions there that she had. One is regarding the stop sign, the original thing that was given, and I should never have done it from the patrol because they were busy that night. Is there two stop signs that are missing or one? And number two is the other part of the report was, and I think I spoke to you about it. tree growing in the middle of the sidewalk up there and was getting to be dangerous. So the one at Puupaca, yes, there is a problem there. Somebody took the whole sign apart from what I've been told. Maybe the mafia, or I don't know. Number two is, the one you're talking about, that the car, it was an N something or other 610. That was, traced down to a Samoan, family. I shouldn't say the race, right? But, tree trimmer who had sent one of his younger kids in the area and was seen at a house that was vacant. They weren't home, they were at work, and left a message, I guess, after a while, but kept cruising the area. So that's why it was called in. And the name was finally found in the, from the license on who it was. So that might settle that part. As far as another sign being missing, I don't know about that. That would have to be done with Kathy Chalk, the patrol person. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula.
Yeah.
Next. Oh, I'm sorry. Next we have Kathy, who's been patient.
Yes, I'm the person patrolling.
Oh,
I'm a
thank
a
you.
citizen of the area, and I'm the one that had a concern about the stop sign, and I can clarify that. So the stop sign is missing on Kama'aina Drive and Kama'aina Place. Okay, there's a stop sign missing. It's been missing for several months. It actually had fallen down somehow, I guess, during some time in the weather, and it was on the ground, and the next thing it disappeared. So I'm not sure if somebody stole it, you know, in the community or somebody else. I don't really know what happened to it, but it's missing. So people on Kama'aina Place are not stopping at the stop sign, and they're continuing down the street onto Kama'aina Drive. Director, if that helps you.
So actually, Kathy, 2 meetings ago, I guess this was, yeah, about 8 weeks ago, I actually drove out there because we weren't sure of what stop sign was missing. So I did submit a 311 request, took pictures, they have the GPS of Kama'aina Place and Kama'aina Drive. So I guess I found that missing stop sign. And so a
Yeah.
work order has already been submitted for that missing stop sign.
Okay, yeah, there was only one stop sign that I had a concern about but at I guess it's Pu'upaka and Kama'aina Drive. It's a cul-de-sac, and the paint on the road is fading. A stop sign is there posted, but on the ground, it's faded, you know, to stop. And so these are new roads that are moving in. This is that construction that's going on upper Dowsett Highlands that the community is familiar with. And so there is now live in that one of the houses, and they are not stopping at the stop sign, which comes onto Kama'aina Drive, which is coming down the street, downhill from the mountain. And when they are returning back home, they're not stopping either. There's a lot of residents that are elderly or younger with kids or babies and strollers, you know, people walking with their pets, and somebody's going to get run over because these people are not stopping. So if you could put in a request to repaint the stop sign, I mean the word stop with the lines on the road, that would be helpful. I don't know how we can stop them from speeding. I almost think we need a speed bump somewhere on Kama'aina Drive coming down. There's a lot of people not putting the brakes on, and it goes around a corner. So somebody's going to get hurt, or a car is going to get hit being
Thank you.
parked.
Thank you,
Thank
Kathy.
you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And I also see, I know I see Ka'apuni's hand and Rachel at the NCO office. I'm sorry, I don't know which one raised it first, but I'm gonna go with Ka'apuni. If you don't mind going ahead, asking your question.
Mahalo, Director. So I wanted to provide clarity on your question about the speed bumps. So that was for the 2100 section on Totnes Drive. Councilmember Tyler has been working with us, and the last we understood is there was another section on 2600 Totnes Drive up the road from us that also had speed bumps approved. But they were waiting to survey that area so that they could get one contractor to install both speed bumps. But our surveys were completed earlier this year, and so we haven't heard anything about the surveys on 2600. But again, there just hasn't been communication for us on where we stand for that. That was just the last that we heard from his office, from council member. So that's for the speed bumps, but I have another question, and I was trying to wait to see if Jenna was coming in, but we also have been working with her for a pedestrian bridge next to 396 Awailimu Street. There's a walking pathway that leads from the back of Po'oa Elementary to Awailimu Drive. And she had worked with Department of Transportation, and we met with them, and Mike was there too, and they had announced that they had found funding to build that bridge, to rebuild it, because right now there's a ditch, a waterway that our children climb down into and climb back out of to walk to school. So DOT had found funding to build that, and we also wanted to see if we could get an update on that build also. But mahalo.
Okay, so Kapuni, just to clarify, I caught the addresses for the Tantlish Drive speed humps that you wanted followed up on, but the address was 396 Alu Lima for the bridge. Is that correct?
Awaiolimu, sorry.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Awaiolimu. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry. The NCO office, there's a hand up. Would you like to ask your question?
Yes. Hi, it's Rachel. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I just wanted to clarify with the whole circling part. What happened was that we were waiting for a response from DTS about the sign replacement. Because we didn't get a response yet, Lloyd actually tried to call Paula, but Paula wasn't available, so he tried to contact Patrick too, just to get more details about the replacement. And we were gonna try to see if we can stop by to see if the sign did need to be replaced. But since we got a response from DTS later on in the day, everything's all good now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please send our thanks to Lloyd for extending his assistance regarding that matter. Okay, do we have any more questions for the director from any more board members? If not, any more public persons that are attending that have any questions? No? Okay.
Thank you to her.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is
Thank
that
you.
Paula?
Thank you to her.
Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you, Director Hashiro, for your report. And again, we appreciate you taking all the time to address our concerns and also for attending the meeting tonight. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Next up, we have Council Member Tyler Dos Santos Tam. Is someone in the audience? Is the council member here?
Can I let you know that I got an email from his representative, Lisa Leonardo, and she had reported right before the meeting that due to unforeseen circumstances, she would be unable to attend. We do have his newsletter. It may be in the Google Drive. I'm sure, hopefully everyone can get it, but yeah, I don't think anybody's going to come from their office. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Patrick, for making that statement. We're sorry that she is unable to attend, but the newsletter is in the Google Drive. I think I saw it before the meeting. Next up, we have Governor Josh Green's representative. Is someone here from that office?
Hi, yes, William New here. Representing.
Hello, William. Floor is yours. Thank you.
Thanks. I just want to highlight some of the items from Governor's newsletter from for the month of September. Governor Green, along with the Hawaii Department of Transportation, in collaboration with the congressional delegation, federal agencies, and the White House, hosted a 3-day federal funds summit in July. During the summit, experienced state, county, and community grant leaders conducted various workshops on federal grant application processes, including strategies for securing matching funds, grant writing logic models, and lessons learned. The summit was part of the governor's Investing in Hawaii's Future initiative to maximize federal funds for the state. Approximately 500 individuals participated in the summit, and the governor plans to hold the summit annually going forward. The Department of Health also sent out an advisory this month recommending recently updated 2024-2025 flu and COVID vaccines for all persons 6 months and older. In addition to the 2 flu and COVID, they also recommend the RSV or respiratory syncytial virus immunization for newborns and infants, pregnant persons, and adults over 75 or those between 60 and 74 with certain chronic medical issues. One highlight that we want to note is that all 3 vaccinations or shots can be taken at the same time through various pharmacies and medical providers. Another positive highlight is the U.S. households will also be able to receive 4 free COVID self-tests again this season, starting September 23rd. You can receive them at covidtest.gov. Otherwise, that's the 2 main points we want to highlight for the governor's report, and I'm available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, William. Does anyone from the neighborhood board have any questions for the governor's representative? I don't see any hands up, so I would like to ask if anyone from the audience has any questions for the governor's representative. If not, thank you, William, for your report tonight. We appreciate you attending on behalf of Governor Josh Green. Thank you. Next on the agenda is Senator Carl Rhodes from District 13. I don't see anyone.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I'm actually representing Senator Carl Rhodes.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I interned for Senator Carl Rhodes.
Oh, my
You guys
apologies.
can hear me, yeah?
Please introduce
Oh, it's
yourself.
sorry. I apologize for kind of hopping in, but good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the board. My name is Braden Chung, and tonight I will be representing Senator Carl Rhodes. As an overview, we'll be going over COVID and some continuity from last board meeting. And since I don't want to call you out, Mr. New, but you did cover a lot of the COVID stuff that we're going to cover. I'm going to kind of glance over it. So basically, Senator Rhodes would just like to convey that the Department of Health reported 446 new COVID cases with an average 7-day average of 63 new cases and 10 deaths for that weekly period. Like Mr. New said, he would recommend everyone to get the RSV vaccine for those who are over 60. And basically for 2024 to 2025, COVID has basically became similar to the flu, so just recommends everyone to be vaccinated. And the vaccine is not to prevent every COVID variant. Rather, it aims to protect against severe illness, hospitalization, and death. And some continuity from last board meeting, I believe board member Kurashige voiced some concerns in regards to bike users wearing helmets, especially for children. Currently, the state law requires bike users under the age of 16 to wear helmets. And the definition that includes basically electric bikes and scooters. But us and our office are trying to introduce new bills in the 2024 legislative season, and Senator Carl Rhodes has introduced a Senate Bill 2519, which would require helmets for skateboarders under the age of 17, but unfortunately, Senate Bill 2519 was never given a hearing. And this basically concludes my briefing. Are there any questions, concerns, or new bill ideas that you would like to convey?
Thank you, Braden Chung from Senator Carl Rhodes' office. Neighborhood board members, do we have any questions for the representative? Oh, Paula, you're recognized.
I hate to kill the good news and everything, but I think that they're looking at this situation where they forget that there's different categories for bike riders. And I don't know how bike riders got helmets, but everybody else got left out. So every time it's brought up is which category are you looking at for helmets? Skateboarders, roller skaters, was it mopeds? I forget. That's another bill, instead of putting it all together, so everybody has to wear a helmet, and I brought this up earlier in the meeting, that they're looking at all these little things, but I think all these people that are going through the air and coming down, et cetera, should be all in one category, and everyone should be wearing a helmet. Because I've seen too many deaths already. And now you got the Beaky bill, and you say that's coming under the bike bill or the bike helmet thing. Then all those people that are buying kids these $1,300 bikes and stuff, those parents all should be really fined if this is going on. And I think that anyone that is not wearing a helmet should, the HMSA and all the different insurances should not be paying for them if they end up in the hospital in a chronic dying situation where they pull the plug. That's not good. They have to really look at this thing now. And, well, it's a bike, so they are wearing a helmet, but it's a state law. But what about all the other people? That's what I want to know. And
Thank
so
you, Paul.
Carl Rhodes is going to be doing a good job if he can get that bill passed, because I could never get it passed.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Paula, for your comments.
Excuse me, is it okay if I kind of clarify with Miss Paula, like
Sure.
just okay, so basically you would kind of like us to kind of group everything together instead of just focusing on one section, like for example, instead of just focusing on bikes, scooters, skateboarders, etc., kind of just group everyone into kind of like one bill basically. Am I mistaken?
Everybody's putting themselves in danger. And then all these insurance companies got to pay for all these things that, like you're going to go to college and you're going to be riding a motor scooter and you don't have to have a helmet. I mean, who's going to pay that bill? And if they're being that stupid, we've already given away 5,000 helmets for free. And I'm tired of it already because they haven't put it together.
I think he got the point.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I just wanted to clarify. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Okay, thank you both. I see another hand raised, and that's Member Young, Sylvia Young.
Thank you, Ray. I just wanted to add something to what Braden said. The new COVID vaccination, the new batch just came out on the 9th. And so did the flu. So if anybody wants to go, there's lots of flu and COVID vaccinations available right now, because I went down the first day it was there and I said, that's it, I'm taking it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. Anyone from the audience that has any questions for Senator Carl Rhodes' representative? If not, thank you, Mr. Chung, for attending on behalf of Senator Carl Rhodes. We appreciate your report. And next.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have someone from Representative Jenna Takenouchi's office here to give District 27's report. Do we? I'm sorry. I thought I saw someone. Is someone here from Senator Representative, sorry, excuse me, Representative Jenna Takenouchi's office?
Good evening, members. My name is Kelton Cheney. I'm here on behalf of Representative Jenna Takenouchi. I just have a couple withstanding issues with the board to report before going into the monthly report. We have the children's crossing signs surrounding Nuʻuanu Elementary. We're still waiting on the work order for the evaluation of the different intersections by DTS. As soon as we receive that, we will make sure to give an update. Next, we have the Nuʻuanu Congressional Church tree cutting. We still haven't received the report from DLNR for board member Easley, but we are continuing to check with the department and we'll share that as soon as it's made available to us. Lastly, we have the safe routes to school, which I believe Kaapuni mentioned earlier. We have checked in with DOT and we're waiting for that DOT to start construction on the pedestrian bridge. No ETA yet, but we have, reached out to them about a timeline and hopefully can share that soon. Couple of community events that we just wanted to highlight for everyone. There's a Kupuna and Caregiver Resource Fair on Saturday, September 21st from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. At the Hampa Hongwanji Hawaii Betsuin. Representatives from over 20 local companies will be on hand to provide information and resources available to Kupuna and caregivers based on their individual need. Late breakfast and lunch are provided. An RSVP is required, and I will post those reservation and parking details to the chat. Lastly, we have another Hawaii Small Business Fair hosted by the Department of Business, Economic Development and Tourism on Saturday, September 28th from 7:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at Leeward Community College. The event will provide classes on growing your business, provide technical assistance, and present an opportunity for you to network with government, nonprofit, and financial institutions. The event is free, but registration is required to attend. I will post their website to the chat if you want more information or want to register. That concludes my report. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Kelton, from the Representative Jenna Takenouchi's office. Members, do we have any questions for the representative's staffer? No? Oh, sorry, Paula, please go ahead and ask your question.
Sorry, for that Nuʻuanu Congregational Church asking for changes in the tributary of the stream. I went back through a whole bunch of laws and stuff, and that is illegal totally. And even though on the same stream, there's a person that has cemented the stream. And then also there are streams that are even running under the schools. So I think that needs to be really looked at as far as you cannot change the tributary on the stream. If they're going to put it underground in that, according to what I read, you can't do that. And I wanted it on the record. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Do we have other members with any other questions? If not, no, I don't see any hands raised. Members of the audience, if there's anyone here that would like to ask the representative from the office, any questions? No? If not, oh, I'm sorry, Paula, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Thank you.
No questions? No, okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Elton Cheney from Representative Takenouchi's office. Thank you so much for attending tonight and for your report. We do appreciate it.
Yep, thank you so much, guys. Have a good evening.
Have a good evening. Any other federal elected officials here in the audience that would like to make their reports or any representatives from their offices? If not, we move into the next category called board business. Do I move this section back to you, Chair Smith?
Yes, I could take it, but thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
I forgot to mention during our public concerns, but this is kind of board business. We don't have to make a decision on, but there was a presentation to Principal Dill Arakaki or Principal Dill Arakaki up Elementary School for his accomplishment of being named Hawaii Distinguished National Principal for 2024. And we made that presentation this past Friday and had a number of board members. So thank you for those who attended, and it went well. So just to let the rest of the board know, thank you. So first up on our agenda is Poly Highway pedestrian safety concerns around Wood Street. And I think, Paula, this was an issue that you wanted to bring up. So if you'd like to take the floor.
Thank you, Chair. I have a lot of things in my mind with this thing. No one around the Poly Highway in that area has been notified of anything going on. I think that's very, very bad. And they see people coming and doing things over there, but what's happening right in front of my house or right on the side of my house, and what's going to happen next? I do think Department of Transportation is kind of like RUDE and not informing the people of that area. They're all calling me, and I am not a highway person. Number one. Number two, I want to know, and I don't know if it was brought up in the last meeting, is that raised sidewalk going to go all the way across the Poly, all 6 lanes, or just on this side, on the Diamond Head side? They're asking me that, and I said, what is going to happen to my house? Am I going to get a problem with my house? Am I going to be able to sleep? What's going to happen? And I do think that there should have been a public hearing to let the people there know what they're doing. Because I hear of all the problems that have happened down below. The other thing is, I was going to bring it up with the governor's office, but we talk about pedestrian safety, and you can't do anything at that corner. Nothing. We lost all that money, 5.2 million. We can't get a light. Then they're gonna put in a hump and a bump and I don't know what you want to call it, but it's gotten out of hand with the speeding. And then also, the people don't know what's going on. That's sad. And I think they should be looked at. It should be really looked at. Now, I don't know if you talk to the legislators or whatever, but I don't even know the transportation committee, who they are at this point, because I know Carl Rhodes tried it for 3 years, got nowhere. They said it was old monies, but I think it's rude that they don't let the people know. Thank you. We have one sign down above Wood Street, and I don't know if it belongs to highway transportation or it belongs to the city, but it's on the cutoff. You're going up to Poly, and then you suddenly go to the right, and then you go around up to Upper Dowsett. There's a big sign down past Homilani Street that needs to be looked at. And I don't think they're coming around there enough to even check their equipment and what's going on. Thank you.
Okay, I guess I can ask the DOT rep that we had at one of the previous meetings to come, and I can ask him to report on this raised sidewalk. I assume that's by Wood Street. Is
Yeah.
that correct? That's going across? And
Yeah.
then also to give us the generalized reports on any other projects on Poly Highway?
Yes, that would be great.
Okay. I'll see if we can get him out. Hopefully we
And
can.
he might want to retire too, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, I know George, just retired, but his, as you may recall, his replacement came. So hopefully I can get in touch with him.
I don't remember if it goes all the way across the 6 lanes or just at that corner. People
Okay.
want, they
Well,
want to,
and then we can, I'll ask him to provide a report on, so that way give him a heads up so he doesn't just show up, but we'll let him know beforehand what
all the
the
bus stops
subject.
that are on the poly that are not being taken care of with a
I'm
big,
sorry, the what
grass-
now?
big long grass next to the poly at Wakanaka. You can't even walk down the highway over there to get to the bus stop to get down to Wood. And there's no bus, so people are having a really rough time. I think everybody that had their holo cards should turn them back in because you can't even walk across. It's all grass anyway.
Okay. Well, I mean, that may be, I'll ask if they, that's probably something hopefully they can take care of before November.
I
So
want
we'll see.
our money back.
Okay. Are there any, does anybody else want to raise any concerns about Poly Highway at this time?
Stop the speeding.
Okay, well, I will, like I said, I'll reach out to the DOT rep and see if we can get him, and I'll let him know of these 3 issues so that he'll be prepared
Thank you.
to answer some questions. Okay, thank you.
That,
Next,
that started in 1984 with the Poly Highway and the speeding and everything that's going on. We also had another thing in 1998 with the deputy attorney for state of Hawaii to get things slowed down on the Hawaii. And look, it's 2024 now, and we're still in, it's even worse than it ever was. Thank you.
okay, thank you. So next up on our agenda is concerns for the treatment of the Hawaiian ducks, and there again, Paula, do you want to report on that?
Yes, we've had influx of a lot of ducks. I wanted to know from DLNR or whoever takes care of the ducks as to what their plans are because they're coming here. But I was also told, and I don't know if it's true, that in Kailua town they were killing the mallards, so they wouldn't interbreed with this famous duck that they're trying to save its lives. Now, if we're trying to save its lives, why are we letting them run around over here, getting killed on the poly, getting killed in front of my house? We've already had 13 as of 13 ducks killed. We've even had 3 killed in a pool, swimming pool. And I want to know what their plans are if they're going to save this duck. It's supposed to be so, once these ducks are done, or killed, or interbred with a mallard, there won't be any more ducks anymore. So I want to know, is somebody going to do something? Like, they're worried about cats and they're worried about chickens and they're worried about, but what about the duck? Thank you.
I think that probably should have gone to the governor's rep or to Senator Rhodes. I guess I can reach out to his office and ask him to follow up and
Okay.
see what he, and say, do they have a plan? I know before he just kind of gave a general, I think the last time we asked Senator Rhodes, he gave kind of a generalized answer about invasive species, but I'll ask him specifically about this, the Hawaiian duck, and see how it goes. Does anyone want to add anything?
It's called the brown Hawaiian duck.
Okay.
Possibly no more after these guys are killed. I don't know. I know they're on all islands, but something needs to be done.
Okay. Yeah, and that's more of
Even
a
in my
question.
yard from getting hit by cars.
Okay, I'll follow up. And then next up we have our favorite issue of expansion of the dog parks. I forgot to verify this, but as I recall, and I think we forgot to do I think I forgot to have the confirmation of our minutes on the agenda because I was about to say maybe we can add that if everybody's okay after we do our business. But as I recall, the only park that the board has officially weighed in on, and that is Booth Park. The rest of the park, I think everybody seemed to have the sense of they didn't want to open up other parks to dog parks, but we did not, as I recall, unless anyone's memory is different, we didn't take an official position. And there again, an official, well, not there again, but the official, the meaning of an official position was me just reaching out to Tyler, letting him know as a board, this is what we voted on. So if there is any action, I will let you know. And I don't know if everyone saw, there was a submission of testimony by a community resident talking about Nuʻuanu, I forgot which park. Someone will probably know, but they were really passionate about the fact that it was inappropriate for dogs, in their opinion. So,
Nuʻuanu Valley Park.
thank you. So I don't know if the board wishes to take a position. My understanding from Tyler, and this is something that they're looking at. I don't know if they've already done it because he had asked for us to kind of look at it by October or August, I believe. But he did not seem to be of the opinion that we would have an expansion of dog parks, at least in our area. But if we want to go on the record, it might be a good time to do that. So with that said, is anybody, Paula, do you want to add something?
Maybe I asked that you defer Nuʻuanu Valley Park, defer it.
Well, all I would say is I think initially Tyler asked that we provide a report by August. So I don't know, he made it sound like, I don't know if this is something that council itself is going to take up, or if they have to actually pass it, or if they're just soliciting opinions for the Parks Department. So I don't know the process, but I'm just saying that we might want to take a position if we're passionate about it. Well, Paul, I'll get back to you, but Adrian.
Okay, I'm confused because I thought we took a position for Booth Park. And
Yes, I meant that was the only park we took a position.
oh, okay.
So if we want to take a position for any of the other parks, and from what I recall, the consensus of the board was not to open up anything to dog parks, but we just, for whatever reason, didn't actually take a vote on that. So that's what I meant. Okay. Sylvia. All right, Paula, I'll come back.
Well, the last time when Tyler's representative came, and now this month, we still have not gotten anything concrete from Tyler as to what that list of dog parks, list of parks that we had in our area under consideration to make them dog parks. I think that we need to hold his feet to the fire and get some answers as what the intent is on this dog park business.
Okay, well, I will let you know, he did send out us a list, which was distributed in the past. I don't have it right in front of me, but we had a number of parks listed out. And like I said, I don't have that in front of me, so I can't tell you the parks in our district. Now, as far as
15 or 16 of them.
He actually I think he included some parks that were not technically in our district, like one was on the other side of a Vineyard, which isn't in our district, obviously. But as far as exactly what is happening, like I said, I don't know if the city council itself is going to review this and has to pass it, or it just goes to the Department of Parks or the Parks Department. I don't know. And bottom line is, he just wanted, I think he wanted it more of an informational, to see what the sentiment of the community is. So I don't know that, it's not like we have a say that if we say no dog parks should be allowed, that automatically means no dog parks is going to be allowed. It's just us voicing our part as far as community, speaking for the community, and then having an impact that way. So Paula, did you want to add something?
Yes, I spoke with about 7 people living in that area. We have a problem, and in fact, tonight I spoke with the police about people letting their dogs run loose and not picking up their whatever. That also, and the park is also having a problem with chickens. Oh, people dumping chickens in the park and cats. Someone is feeding the cats. So you've
Okay.
got all these animals in there, but this has gone on for too long and the people do not want a dog park. And then the Queen Emma, I spoke to the head office. They do not want, because they use that area where a dog park would be. They want to use it for parking when they have a day at the Queen Emma.
Thank you. Adrian.
We received a memo from Tyler, and it was saying it had 11 neighborhood park, our Lima neighborhood park, and a list of parks, and it was, he would appreciate your input by August 15th with any feedback. There was no intention at that time for anything to happen, but it was a just in case. They were looking at where dogs would be on a leash permitted and where they would not. And that was where it was, because Booth wasn't even on it, but it's like if you're looking at these certain places, because it was Mother Waldron Park. So it was parks all over Honolulu, not specific, that he asked for us to take a look at it so that he could be proactive. It was not as if this said they were doing anything specific. It was just because they were the department, the regular Parks and Recs were looking at what public parks could be dog parks. And so he was looking at anything in his district so that he would know when this occurred. So it wasn't like this list was saying they're getting ready to make these all dog parks. He was trying to be proactive in creating that list. And I would appreciate your input by August 15th. So we all received that because the letter came to you, Patrick, me, and members of this neighborhood board. So I can email out the copy, but we all
Thank you.
received it.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Thank you for reminding us. So I think where we're left is we sort of need to make a decision. Let me ask, is there any park that you know of in our district that someone would want to make a dog friendly or a dog on leash park? Okay, so the next question is, do we want to take an active stance to say we're not in favor of opening up? And there again, I guess that we can ask for the list, but we're not in favor of opening up any of our parks to dogs on a leash. My understanding is dogs without a leash, that's just not in the on the table. So if anyone wants to make a motion to say we want to take an active stance, or we make a say that we don't want it, please do so. Otherwise, we can move forward. Adrian, did you want to add something?
I just wanted to say, we have had in Papakolea a number of people bitten by dogs. So this idea of dogs without a leash, because once again, these pet owners that think they can read their dog's brains, they cannot. And so right now, it is thinking about people who are being bitten, and the Humane Society is not coming right out, and people are not being responsive to dog bites. Just saying.
Thank you. My understanding is that there's not going to be a dog park that's open to dogs without a leash. I don't know if that's under consideration in other areas, but as I recall my conversation with Tyler, yeah, this is only a choice between allowing dogs with leashes or no dogs at all. So anyway, there it is. Paula, do you have anything?
Sorry, Nuʻuanu Valley Park says no animals. And it's
Okay,
been,
you want to make a motion to that effect?
yeah, I'd like to make a motion that Nuʻuanu Valley Park not be considered in this
Okay.
discussion.
Well, maybe if I can wordsmith it a little bit and say this board recommends that Nuʻuanu Valley Park not be considered for inclusion as a dog friendly park, be it
Or
on
list-
leash or not.
or listed, whatever.
Yeah.
Because it is, that rule has been there since the Queen Emma lived there.
Okay. Well, this is just clarifying it. So is there a second to that? Is there a second to the motion? Well, I'll second it. Okay, so we'll have some just a tad bit of discussion. One thing I would ask you before we move into discussion, I would ask, are there any other parks in our district? Obviously, Booth Park is off the table. We've already considered that. Any other park that anyone wants to add to this? So Sylvia, go ahead, please.
Well, in your earlier statement, when you asked how we felt about having a dog park in our area, and Adrian clarified that was it Megan that clarified and said that there were 16 parks on that list, but then not all of them was in our neighborhood board area. I thought
Correct.
that's what I heard in an earlier discussion. And if that's the case, it seems to be that we are all in the opinion that we don't have to name every single park like we just did Booth Park, but just give a blanket motion to say that neighborhood board number 12 recommends, is in opposition of having any dog parks in our neighborhood board area. That's it.
I think you're right. Now that's what I was asking for. So Paula, would you be amenable to altering your motion to reflect that?
I take Maine back and I agree with that.
Okay. So, well, we're just amending it doesn't matter how it comes out, but we're amending the motion. I second it, so that's fine. So is there well, it's an amendment. Is there a second to, let's say, this amended motion?
I
to
second.
exclude any.
Second.
Okay, is there anybody in opposition to this? Hearing none. So all in favor of making
Actually,
this statement?
Chair Smith,
Yes, please go ahead.
I'm slightly in opposition. I don't know if we want to completely rule out any new dog parks. We do have plenty of residents with dogs. I think what we would like to rule out, at least from my opinion, like to rule out converting any existing parks into dog parks. So I think that's maybe to add, I would feel more comfortable if we have that language in whatever our motion is, that we oppose converting any existing parks to dog parks.
Okay, well, actually, there is a short list of parks. I thought it was like 8 parks. I can't recall off the top of my head that were actually in our district. As far as I'm aware, all of them at the current moment do not allow dogs. Adrian, if you have more information, you can enlighten us on, please.
The list is Awalimo Neighborhood Park, Booth Park, Kamamalu Playground, Wananakoa Neighborhood Park, and Nu'u Valley Park. That is the parks that were in neighborhood board number 12. On the list, it was parks that were in neighborhood board 10, 11, 12, 13.
Right.
All of Tyler's district, so it's all of District 6. But the only the ones I just named are the ones that are on the list under neighborhood board number 12. I know there's more parks in this area, but those are the 5 that are listed on this list.
Okay, so well, Booth Park we've already taken care of, so it's really only 4 parks. And is anybody aware of one of those parks having dogs allowed at this moment? My understanding is all the parks do not allow dogs at this moment.
Right.
So
Right.
we do have a motion on the table. It will only apply then to the 4 other parks that were listed. So it's not a blanket opposition. There again, and I understand that a member of the public made made a comment that would like it a little changed, but is there any opposition to this motion by the board members?
Well,
Excuse me.
Patrick,
Yes.
that motion that I made was only for neighborhood board 12. You know,
Well,
the
that's what I
parks
just
that
said. It
are
would only apply to the
neighborhood board
parks and the
12.
board.
So with that member from the public who, you know, we're not eliminating the other districts. They need to make their own position known for their neighborhood board area. But all we're doing is making our position known in neighborhood board number 12.
Okay. And it is only those 4 parks that remain in our area, the 4 parks other than Booth Park that we're talking about.
Yes.
So with that said, is there any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, thank you. All those opposed, and please, board members only. All those opposed say no. Any abstentions? Okay, the ayes have it. Thank you. I now communicate, and it's, you know, from what I understand with Tyler, I just sent him an email last time, so and that's what I'll do this time. And you know, like Adrian suggested, yeah, he wanted by August, but it'll probably be okay because it was just sort of an informational thing. Next up on the agenda, I'm sorry, I got to look in the light. I left this on the agenda, but consideration of filling other sub-districts for our vacancies. That is actually going to be looked at by the commission itself in the neighborhood plan, you know, review. So I don't know that we need to take a look at it, but it's up to the board. Paula, did you want to add something?
I just want to say, and then I know some people are getting upset with me, but you do not want to put a park somewhere that you're not going to every person in that, living in that area as to whether they want to park or not. That's my thing, because with Nuʻuanu Valley Park, it was nothing but a problem with everybody getting upset. So then still is a problem because nobody's listening to the rules. That's why I
Okay.
brought it up with the police. Always be with the people to talk to them because we're representing the people. And we don't live there. Thank you.
Okay. Sylvia, did you want to say something?
Oh, I'm on your number D, which is consideration of allowing other sub-districts to fill vacant board positions.
Yes.
Okay.
I actually didn't mean to put that on the agenda, but okay.
I understand exactly where you're going with this. Having sat on the committee to revise the neighborhood plan for over 15 years in the past, I think that what needs to be done is not what you're trying to say is not exactly right here. What we need to do is reconfigure our 15 board members on our board, and we can change it to be 3 from each sub-district and 2 and the rest at large seats. So that would be 9 district seats, and the other 6 seats are at large, which could come out from any of the districts, the remaining, 3 districts. And I think that would solve a lot of problems for a number of neighborhood boards. And if you decide that, like for us, when we first started off, 15, we felt 5 from the 3s. Well, actually, it wasn't. We had 4 sub-districts, and the Upper Nuʻuanu area was added to the Nuʻuanu district to make it, everybody had an even 5. So, because this was the problem that our neighborhood board had, that the Upper Nuʻuanu, which is the area that is up by the Mox Estate and that area, and the Waio Kanaka side, that was a sub-district of its own. And we had the hardest time trying to fill that one. So that's what happened. So that's how we ended up with 3 sub-districts and 3 with 5 each. We can also suggest that our neighborhood board not be 15 members. We could also say that we want our board to be 9 members or 11 members, but and it could be all at large seats versus having something, but you could do combinations. And I thought that maybe that would help our area, because 3 of us could run from the district, from each district, and the other 6 seats would all be at large. But anyway, that's a combination that we could look at.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything further? As I said, I mean, actually, I chair the committee that's going to rewrite the rules, and we're already kind of knee deep into it. So that's why I was thinking we probably should wait until it's sort of sorted out for the whole in the neighborhood plan, because I think some of these might be changed anyway. Some of the rules, and it's hard to see where it's going, but yeah, I would say we've been doing this for a while. So anyway, Sylvia, did you want to have any last thoughts?
Yeah, I wanted to add that the decision is not one from the neighborhood commission or the executive secretary of the neighborhood board. That decision, whatever that you come up with as the changes to the neighborhood plan, you have to have a public hearing, and it takes 3 readings.
Yeah, well, it's actually 2, but we're gonna that's gonna be presented as part of the information going out to the public, and it'll probably be next month. It'll go through the process a little bit, so everybody will know. We're just in the discussion phase at this point, so it's a little premature to start talking about how we're going to approve any proposed re-edit of the plan.
No,
Anyway,
but we should be thinking about it when the thing comes up of what our board feels is the right combination. You know, it's not one that you say, well, this is what we're going to present, and you take it or leave it, you know, at the public hearing. It's kind of like we're a democracy, and we need to voice how we feel that we should, as citizens' participations, we should have a voice and make it known as to what this board wants to do.
Well, I totally agree with you, but we're not even real. We don't even have a firm proposal yet. What I would suggest is there be a proposal, and then the board can look at the proposal and then make comments. And if any board, and this will come up probably next month, it'll be a short presentation, and it will provide information about how any individual or a board can submit their own suggestions in the form of testimony. Anyway, Mike.
Do we need a motion or something to remove this or table this item until such guidance is offered by the commission?
That would probably be good, unless that's fine.
Okay.
So
I'd like to move. So moved. Yeah.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed say no. Any abstentions? Okay. Yeah, I think this is actually probably something that should be tabled down the list, and we will have information on the plan amendment process coming up very soon. So actually, next on their agenda, and I thought I missed it, is the approval of the minutes. And I know that Audrey, if you're still with us, did you want to make some corrections, please?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so on the first page, for the first three items, I did not abstain. I voted yes. So if for the chair can be corrected, I voted yes. For Mr. Smith, I would never abstain. Vice Chair, I would also, I voted yes for Member G. And the Secretary, I also voted yes. So if that can be all corrected, please, would appreciate it.
Okay. So as long as Rachel, you've got this, then that would be great.
I got it. Thank you.
Thank you. So Kathy.
I noticed on page 3 that George had retired from the DOT and Ryan Nakata has assumed his position. It's misspelled in the minutes. They have Nakate with an ending with an E, but it should be a Nakata.
Thank you. Are there any other, does anyone wish to offer any other corrections? So since we did have corrections, I would ask for a motion to approve the minutes. Anyone wish to make a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
I heard Paula and Mike.
What was Ray?
First and second. But I guess Mike moved and Paula seconded. All those in favor say aye, excuse me.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Any abstentions? Okay, sorry about that. It passes. So anyway, that is our board business. Our announcements. I did have something to announce, and that is, I don't know if everyone got this information, but there will be a meeting at Kuala Nakoa Middle School cafeteria, and it'll be attended by Tyler DeSantis Tam and I think another council member, and they're going to review the primary urban center development plan. And so it's sort of a big deal. It was interesting because I actually participated a little bit in the earlier meetings. This is September 23rd, and it's from 6 to 7:30, and that is a Monday. So if everyone didn't receive that and wants more information, I'll be happy to forward that email. Just drop me an email and I can give you that information. Do we have any other announcements anybody wishes to say or make? I will let you know our next meeting is November 19th. Sorry, old eyes. Paula.
I just want to say that if anyone wants to give away school supplies, we would really appreciate it to go to the Paoa school. And if you have things still at home from last year, you can still give it because the kids still need. Nuʻuanu school, I cleared it and the kids there are fine.
So where would they make the donation? Just drop it off at the school, I assume.
Yes, with love.
Thank you. Okay, is there any last comments? Hearing none, I adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a great couple months, and we'll see you in November. Thank you very much.
Thank
Take
you.
care.